Chat. We're live in 3 minutes.
Okay.
For a cut-in.
Let me get off the screen.
Do I need to go get my IFB?
Probably.
Okay. I need to meet you back on this corner. I'll lose you. Do you have IFB?
I don't. But yeah, if you got IFB, you better go get it quick.
Yeah. Can you hold this for a second?
Yeah. Are you,
We're going live in 2 minutes.
are you, okay. You got the mic?
Citizens arrest! Lock him up! He's breaking the law! Constitutional law! Lock him up! Lock the law! Lock the police!
Standing at the corner of
Yes, this is me. If you were trying to talk to me on IFB.
This is as far as I'm going.
Okay.
What do we do?
I'm waiting for them to talk to me in my ear. Can you guys hear me? Mic check 1 2 3 3 2 1. Mic check 1 2 3 3 2 1. Can you tell them I'm on the breaking news IFB?
I can't because I'm dialed in IFB too. We're not in the show, so.
No, we're taking a cut. I can hear you. I can hear you. They're going to talk to you in a minute.
They're going around the governor's mansion, the state capitol, or the...
I'm live on Facebook, just so you know.
Okay. They're going around the governor's mansion, then they're going by the legislature, then they're going by the capitol, and they're going back here. So...
I can hear you, yep. Are you called into the photog line? Yes, he is.
But I don't hear anything.
He doesn't hear anything.
Hello?
That's fine. I think we can keep it live and use Sky 5, and then that should be good enough.
How you doing, WRL?
Hanging in there, you?
Good, good. How are you? Doing well. Congressman.
Hey, how are you? When Colin was recording, we weren't getting great audio. Do you mind if we re-interview you really quick?
We can do that.
It will not take too long.
Okay, I'm rolling.
All right. Just kind of tell me, why did you want to be here today? We knew that you were going to, show up. You told that you were going to be here to support them. Why did you make that decision?
It's very simple. I'm sworn to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And when the Raleigh Police Department tweeted out that unfortunate tweet last week that protest is not essential, I knew immediately that I needed to come and support these folks with Reopen NC. You see, the First Amendment secures this right. It's a fundamental right to peaceably assemble, and it can be done safely. And I think for the most part we're seeing today it is being done safely. A lot of people have on masks, a lot of people are maintaining social distance from each other, and it should be done responsibly. But that right doesn't exist by the benevolence of Roy Cooper. It exists, it's secured by the First Amendment. And that's not the only right that's secured by the First Amendment. The right to religious liberty is secured. So out in Kansas, a day or so ago, a federal judge ordered against the governor, issued a temporary restraining order because the governor's order there did not allow religious organizations to hold services, no matter their social distancing practices. And the governor said the court said that was unconstitutional under the circumstances there. The First Amendment secures the rights of a free press, and that implies that you will receive from an emergency, from a governor exercising emergency authority, facts and data when he seeks, so that he can justify an order like this. And the order won't extend indefinitely, but it'll be subject to a plan to end the order when the criteria that are established are met. None of that is Roy Cooper doing. This order that he's imposed is locking people away from their lives, and he's offering slogans, testing, trends, and tracing, I believe, or something in a different order probably. But that's not what we need. We need facts and data. We need as epidemiologists models to be fully disclosed, all their work, so we can see whether they're as erratic and unsupportable as the models that have emerged in Mecklenburg County by hospital systems in the county, which are erratic. The point is not that there's not a serious risk or a serious harm or danger here. There is. But people will cooperate with rules and requirements that are necessary. They are not going to cooperate at endless length with indefinite orders locking them away from their lives.
I want to ask you about your comment about safety. I mean, a lot of people out here are not 6 feet apart, not keeping a social distance. Are you okay with that?
The reporter guy here weren't 6 feet apart.
I have encouraged, and I do encourage, and I'm standing a number of feet apart from you, so I've dropped my mask. I'm wearing a mask. I think people ought to be responsible, and they can exercise their First Amendment rights responsibly, and I think people are.
Sir, that's what the left always says, right? When it comes to abortion, they always say, my body, my choice. That's their mantra, isn't it? Yeah. My body, my choice. What's up? We're sick of this. We know it's a lie. Sir, it's a lie.
And encouraging folks to stay the 6 feet apart.
And I think people are doing that, and people have a range of opinions, and that's certain. And so, democracy, democracy is messy. But what Roy Cooper and the Raleigh police have lost sight of is that these rights are not, again, they don't exist by their good favor. These are fundamental.
Amen.
They exist. The individuals in this country, the individuals own those rights. They're fundamental. They don't go away, even when you have a pandemic.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Here we go, Jeff.
There you go.
Good to be with you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Look, I'll stand with you anywhere that you're good defending freedom.
Oh, there it is. Because this is all about freedom, sir. It truly is. This is about freedom. My father was a World War II vet.
Jeff, we are live on Facebook right now giving people an idea of what's happening right here, and you're looking at Congressman Dan Bishop, who has showed up to this event down here, which has drawn hundreds of people. A lot of them have actually moved around to the governor's mansion and to a 10-block radius. And we're actually going to get in here. And Congressman, we're now live on WRAL. Just tell the viewers who are watching at home why again you decided to be down here today.
Please take your mask
off. So it's because I want this to be understood. I'm wearing a mask because I want people to exercise their rights responsibly. But every person gets to decide what how to proceed on that, and they ought to cooperate. And I'm intending to cooperate. But I want it to be understood that these rights, the right to assemble and to petition the government, is not a right that exists by the benevolence of Roy Cooper.
Amen.
It is something that is guaranteed to us. It's secured to us by the Constitution, and the Constitution's not under a stay-home order. The Constitution's not suspended. And what it means, that people can be required to exercise safe practices, and they should exercise. They will voluntarily exercise safe practices. But the governor has unfortunately caused this problem. I think the Raleigh police did it with their unfortunate tweet last week that protest is not essential. They need to be reminded, and we're reminding them today, that the Constitution secures a number of rights. And another one that I've mentioned earlier today and will repeat is it secures the right of a free press. And that implies that all of you will receive information, not just slogans, not just testing, tracing, and whatever trends, but you'll get substantial data. You'll get facts and data that have integrity and models that make sense and that stand the test of time as they're compared against actual results. And they won't be erratic. And we won't just have indefinite plans for an order like this, but rather it will be, not an indefinite order, but a plan to end this with discrete and specific criteria. All those things are called for.
We have, hundreds of people who are down here. Obviously, they want to see the economy back up and going. We have them in, pretty close proximity, not totally socially distancing. Is it concerning for you to see all of these people in such close quarters?
My observation.
What's up? You're just trying to tie in to say something.
Let me answer this question. My observation is that people are maintaining a respectful distance from people to the extent that they can. And I think, and you have some people who are family groups who are together and then there's space from others. I see people behaving themselves. I see people acting as Americans ought to, exercising their freedoms and doing so responsibly. Now, it also will be beneficial if the governor will proceed in the way I talked about, so people aren't inclined to come out and say this is beyond your authority. So it takes cooperation from everybody, but the governor bears a special responsibility.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you joining us, and we have a lot more from his interview that we will have for you later on WREL. You can see some of the protesters here that we've been talking with, you know, really for hours now. They started showing up here earlier than 9 o'clock this morning. We understand that there are several hundred people here. Last week's protest drew about 150 people. So just by, you know, estimates of this crowd size, this movement is certainly growing. And what you're looking at down here is just a whole lot of police presence on really every corner. The protesters say that they are going to be going about a 10-block radius from the governor's mansion to the legislative building down to the Capitol. So this is certainly going to be continuing for the next couple of hours here in downtown Raleigh. So far, no serious reports of people being arrested. We have not seen that. We did see some of the protesters yelling at police officers, blocking the streets. The police officers remained calm and all of that. So no real confrontations to report down here as of now. We'll keep our eye on it. Back to you. So for those people watching, in addition to the hundreds of people who are down here in downtown Raleigh protesting the governor's stay-at-home order, they want to see those restrictions lifted. What I'm about to turn the camera around and show you is several nurses and other healthcare professionals who have gathered here right on Jones Street. They are, trying to send a message that they support a very gradual reopening of the economy. They do not want this to be, flip the switch kind of decision, because they fear that a lot of people will be infected if the economy is open. If the economy opens up too fast. So I know it's a little loud down here. There are hundreds of protesters, very few amount of counter-protesters, if that's what you want to call them. They're kind of just demonstrating and showing their support for not reopening the economy all at once. I'm going to turn this around if it gets a little loud. I just want you to see that these are nurses who are here in support of healthcare workers and a slow reopening of the economy.
And the vulnerable need to stay protected. The rest of us need to get back to work. That's epidemiology, folks. Woo! 101, baby. Those who are vulnerable need to protect themselves. The rest of us go back to work. Those who are vulnerable need to be protected. The rest of us go back to work. Those who are vulnerable need to be protected. The rest of us go back to work. Those who are vulnerable should be protected. The rest of us should go back to work.
You're not
Those who are immunosuppressed should be protected. The rest of us should be back to work. Those who are immunosuppressed or vulnerable should be protected. The rest of us should go back to work. Those who are immunosuppressed or vulnerable should be protected while the rest of us go back to work.
I can walk and chew gum at the same time. That means I can work and
We're
protect
on
myself.
Facebook. Do you mind sharing your opinion again just about why you're out here? And I mean, what's the message that you want to send? Peacefully send to, the people who are out there wanting the governor to reopen the economy right away.
The rest of us go back to work. It's time to go back to work. It's time to go back to work. That statistics are wrong. You got
Thank
it
you.
wrong. Why did our state have 563,000?
And I know it was probably hard to hear that nurse that we were talking to, but she says that they're here in support of healthcare workers, and they want any kind of reopening of the economy to be done so in a very safe way. So we're still down here. We're seeing still hundreds of protesters. They're making the rounds about a 10-block radius, here in downtown Raleigh. And we have seen a very
accident. We all have the right to assemble peacefully, to exercise free speech, and to worship as we see fit. Amen. We also have the right to free commerce, to work and earn a living, to support ourselves and our families. To suppress those rights of the citizens of this great state is both a dereliction of your duties and a contradiction to the very oath of office you swore to uphold as governor. We are an action group working towards a mutual goal to reopen North Carolina no later than May 1st, 2020. Yes. Safely and intelligently is our goal, but not by the means or on the timeline Governor Cooper has outlined. His timeline is a moving goalpost, and that has to stop. Our resounding message to Governor Cooper and all of our elected officials is clear. End the shutdown. We demand our rights be restored in full right now. Since the start of this pandemic, experts on a local, regional, and even a federal level have been wrong upwards of 75% of the time. Their dire warnings and predictions of death by the millions, hospitals nationwide being overrun, have simply not panned out. Sadly, some heavily populated areas like Seattle, New York City, and New Orleans have been hit hard, and our hearts and prayers are with them. Luckily, that has not been the case for the rest of the nation, and especially not here in North Carolina. The scientific data being released does not support a continued shutdown of our state, and the governor's plan to simply keep testing is not feasible, nor has it been promoted by any reliable experts or been successful anywhere else in this nation. Further, the vast majority of North Carolina hospitals are nowhere near capacity, as is also true nationwide with only a few exceptions, and many are actually furloughing their healthcare staff.
It's a New York City problem.
States that have not enforced such draconian shutdowns as Cooper has with his executive order have not had any worse outcomes than North Carolina. Residents of this great state are smart enough, and more important, have the right to decide their own comfort level with any and all pathogens and viruses, just like we have done for every other illness and every other crisis that has come through our state and our great nation. Governor Cooper, you are not a king, and we are not your subjects. You are an elected official, granted your power only by the vote of the people. We, the people of this great state, will be heard. Reopen North Carolina.
Legislature in January. What did he know?
That's a good question. I'll take some questions from some of the media now.
You
Hi. Would you like to say hello?
Ashley, you mentioned an intelligent reopening of the state by May 1st. What exactly does that entail to you?
That entails the expiration of the executive order in its current condition, and that the people of North Carolina can exercise their own judgment about their decisions and make their own risk assessment, as I've stated all along. I believe wholeheartedly North Carolinians are intelligent. We've managed our risk factors for many years through many other crises, and we will continue to do so through this.
So now how do you balance that with the risk that some officials have said is that if we lift this too soon, we see an acceleration of cases?
If we don't lift this soon enough, we're going to see an acceleration of unemployment and job loss like our nation has never seen before. We need to look at all the data and make a decision, not just one sector.
Is that the same model that told us 2 million people were going to die? The models keep changing. Yet you throw out these, it's going to drop, and
yes.
Everything's going to spike May 1st.
In regards to
you missed it by a mile.
The number of people here is a lot. It is hard to social distance.
I'm sorry, will you speak up, Colin?
Clearly it's hard to social distance with this many people today. The governor, through his legal counsel, said protest is fine as long as there's social distancing. How do you remedy that in this situation?
I think there again, people have done their best to keep their distance. I haven't seen hugging, although I know a lot of people would love to come up and embrace one another in the liberty and freedom movement here, and it's a heartfelt passion that we're all sharing. But I also see that the media isn't practicing social distancing either. I've also seen the police doing the same thing. So I would challenge anyone to say, do we not all, as individual sovereign people, have the right to make those types of decisions for ourselves? Yes, next question, please. I'm sorry, I can't hear it. Next question. Does anyone have any other questions?
There's some healthcare providers who have gathered here in their own counter-protest. What's your response to that?
I'm not affiliated with them. I'm here for one goal and one goal only, and that is to show the governor that the people of North Carolina demand our freedoms be restored and that we reopen North Carolina by May 1st. Next question. Thank you, ma'am. A healthcare provider stands with us, and she's one of many that I know personally. Next question, please. If we're done, then I'll wrap up. Thank you so much for your time.
I'm glad to be with you. Congratulations. Let me offer one comment.
Sure, yes, sir.
If I could. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dan Bishop. I'm a member of Congress from the 9th District of North Carolina. And I knew, because my responsibility and my oath is to defend and protect the Constitution of the United States, that I needed to come here today. When I saw the Raleigh Police Department say last week, in response to Reopen NC, that protest is non-essential, is a non-essential activity, I knew that they and Roy Cooper had lost their way.
Amen.
And so what I want to say today is this is Reopen NC. This is American greatness at its best. This group actually has helped to organize, has organized. I knew that I had to come here to lend my voice in support of Reopen NC, to remind the governor that our rights don't exist by his benevolence.
Amen.
The First Amendment is not under a stay-home order.
Yes, sir.
And it secures to these people who are protesting today, and in fact to all of us, it secures to us the right to gather and to petition government. And the folks who are exercising that right, you asked about social distancing, folks will do that as responsibly as they possibly can. And I think that's what's happening today. I'm a distance from you, so I'm not wearing this mask right now. But I encourage people to exercise their rights responsibly. But understand that the First Amendment also secures the right to religious liberty. So that in Kansas, a federal judge has ordered the governor there, has issued a TRO against the governor's order there that said there could not be religious services no matter whether social distancing practices were followed. And that judge said that won't work. We have the right to a free press, and all you are gathered here today. And what we've seen over the last period of time is the governor has this order in place, but he offers, and he says it will extend indefinitely. He gives no indication when it will end. He gives no indication of a plan with discrete and specific criteria by which it will end. And his Department of Health and Human Services does not disclose data in a fulsome and complete way so that we know what is happening. You see models emerging in Mecklenburg County from authorities there that are erratic, that are wildly erratic and depart from the data on the ground, the actual results. So, Ashley, to all of you who have shown today what America is all about, thank you for what you are doing. Thank you for being here to show what the Constitution means. I'm going to, before I leave, I'm going to deliver this Constitution to the governor's mansion. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Very proud of you. I give you a big hug. You said we got a distance.
And I apologize for not recognizing
No reason to shoot. I think every official ought to be here to stand up for what you are doing. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Get our rights back.
Open North Carolina.
right thing.
We are just this is so amazing.
Well, you'd have to have someone in the news you had it. Yep. Say that now? Oh, yeah.
And look, the thing is, too, is what the why in the
Oh, Alicia, baby. What? Thank you for being here.
How are you? They probably got it.
Oh, it should be sworn to the governor's office. Like they act like we're going to go run over the governor's office.
If I get a healthcare worker, I got a guy that I recorded who was screaming at him, calling him, screaming at the healthcare workers. Guys.
I haven't stopped working.
For everybody, the hard work they're doing, the hardships they're putting on their families and their children. Thank them. Be glad we have them. Use your head. Be intelligent.
I'm trying to social distance here.
You want to come on the court? Sure.
Yep. Tell me your name, first of all.
Nicholas Blanchard.
How do you spell your last name?
BLANCHARD.
Okay. What's your title?
I'm a pharmacist.
You're a pharmacist. Part of the crowd I saw was yelling, saying fear-mongering and that kind of thing. What's your reaction to that?
I think everybody's scared. I'm scared too. I think we're all scared. But the thing about being out here and trying to give support to the healthcare professionals and trying to get these people, look at these people. They're right beside each other. No one's social distancing. And I'm concerned about that. I'm also concerned about my parents who are almost 80, who've been at their home for 42 days because they're doing the right thing by keeping themselves there. So I wanted to come out and be support to the other healthcare providers out today.
Do you think this is a mistake for them to be out here like this?
I think it's a big mistake for people to be out here, but I understand their frustrations. But coming up to us and waving Trump signs and cursing at us doesn't do anybody any good. But I'm very concerned, and we could possibly have a spike because of this, of coronavirus cases. We'll know in 14 days.
Nicholas, how do you spell your first name?
Nicholas.
Okay. And where are you a pharmacist?
I teach, but
you teach.
Can we just leave it, Professor?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I hate for you to put me. I need a haircut too, but it's not everybody.
We all do. Yes. Thanks for your time.
Y'all doing a good job.
Thank you. Yeah, baby.
All right.
So Jay, just tell me why you showed up today.
Well, I obviously live in the district and wanted to check out and see what the rally was about.
You have concerns about it?
I do have concerns about not seeing social distancing being practiced, but everybody's entitled to their First Amendment rights.
Do you feel like it's violating the governor's stay-at-home
Well, look, I mean, I think that's something for the lawyers to deal with, but, from my perspective, I worry about not letting science and data dictate when we're going to decide to gradually reopen our economy.
Do you feel, I mean, clearly this has been devastating to the economy. I don't hear anyone denying that part. But reopening right now, do you feel like that's a mistake?
Again, I think if you leave it to the medical experts and the healthcare experts, they would tell you we're not there, but that doesn't mean that we can't slowly start reopening some parts of the economy.
Okay. Jay, thanks for taking time. Good to see you.
Well, I appreciate y'all.
Hospital errors are the leading cause of death in America every year. But we don't shut down the hospitals.
How about giving thanks to the people over here? So I can stay.
Hey there, ladies. I look like a Gary.
Get an old mama.
You are my profile picture right now. Okay, we're going to stop.
We're good.
Thank you so much for what you did.
Thank you for coming.
You have more support than you ever know.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And go Pat.
She was the one that was arrested last week. Which one? Sitting back to work.
If you're so scared, why are you out here? Put on a mask. If you're scared, put your mask. Exactly. You need a mask. You obviously are sick and you need a mask. That's right. If you're so scared, why? Because when you get your groceries, when you get your toilet paper, that's right. Walmart, the grocery store.
Yeah, and
what about the
toilet paper, y'all really hoard that so nobody else can get toilet paper. Instead of buying it right normal. Hoard.
Really? I've had more patients touching the flu than this China virus. Let me tell you that.
Hey, Coach. Say again? All right. I see.
How are you?
It's like the Spanish person.
Just together.
No.
It's bad. It takes a while.
Just say Raleigh and state Raleigh police and state capitol.
Same country, but I mean, there's more than 1,000 people. I don't know about thousands. I don't know if it's thousands, but it's more than 1,000.
see this one?
My IFB's not working. I can't hear anything.
Hold on, he's working on his IFB. His IFB is not working. Hold on.
I can't dial in. That's my problem.
Want mine? Take mine.
Colin, they're talking to you.
Right here. I'm talking to him. I got him. No. Check your takes off.
Hold on, Cullen's got some IFB issues. He's trying to plug in. Hold tight.
I can't call in.
Take this off. All right.
You hear it?
No. I can't even call in. That's my problem.
Yeah, he's fine.
Can I? I don't think that's working.
Just listen to it. Cullen's here. Hold on.
Up to you.
Come over here, Cullen.
Hang on. I can't.
Yes. I'm with Cullen. I'm going to be his queuer for IFB. He does not have IFB. You want to swing around?
We'll stand here. I'm going to refer to the cops down there too. So we're standing here on Judge Street.
We're still talking. But you're in a toolbox. Stand by. Here we go. They're dragging it out. Hold tight, guys. Here we go.
So we're standing here on Jones Street in front of the Archives building. You can see police officers coming through on motorcycles. They've actually been ahead of the protest as they have essentially circled the government buildings in downtown Raleigh twice now. So now they're coming up on their third trip around the crowd. Frankly, has dwindled just a little bit. We're talking about several hundred reopened North Carolina protesters still here. And if we watch right in front of the crowd here, we've got healthcare workers who have gathered as a counter-protest. We see right here, they're standing there. In fact, it got very tense several times where protesters were screaming at healthcare workers who have been here essentially in a silent protest, urging people to stay home, and these protesters obviously not staying home. And if we can look down this way, if you can get a better vantage point, you can see the police officers lined up 6 feet apart there as the crowd goes by. Clearly, with this many people, it is very difficult to social distance. And frankly, it's been difficult for us to social distance just to cover this. You can see all the signs, reopen NC. Governor Cooper, reopen NC now. Fear doesn't stop death, it stops life. Very, very passionate crowd. So just a short time ago, one of the co-founders, Ashley Smith, held a news conference where she talked about the core reasoning behind this protest. Let's listen to that.
They just told them they couldn't touch that rail. Oh, we paid for that rail. The police just told them to get their hands off that. Yeah. But yet we paid for it. We own it. Let us go back to work.
Again.
Let us work.
Again, Ashley Smith making her point known that they feel is absolutely their right to go to work, to reopen their businesses.
Not the healthy.
There's clearly a political element here as we turn around. We've got a lot of Trump supporters. We've seen a lot of Trump signs. Seen Dan Forrest shirts. Dan Bishop, congressman, is here. We spoke to him earlier. He said he wanted to make a point to be here because
of the sick, not the healthy.
See them behind me. The fact that a protester was arrested last week, he felt like it's their right to come out and protest. The governor made it clear that protest is okay as long as people social distance. With this kind of crowd, it's clearly been difficult to social distance. So, again, several hundred people still here, gathered here on Jones Street as the protest continues.
14 the sick, not the healthy. Let healthy people go back to work. It's real easy to shut down the state while you're collecting a paycheck, Governor. We got right to that number. Let's keep that. Please open North Carolina. 14 the sick, not the healthy.
I think clearly police have given the protesters some leeway, allowing them to march, allowing them to move. When it first started, they just collected right here on Jones Street in Wilmington. They weren't moving, and everyone was on top of each other, frankly. So by keeping them moving, there is a little bit more social distancing that's happened. But with this size crowd, it's hard for them to social distance, and frankly, it's been hard for us to cover in social distance because we're surrounded by so many of these protesters. Back to you.
North Carolina! Not the healthy! Let the healthy go back to work! Stand for your job! Working the sick, not the healthy! Let the healthy go back to work!
Enough is enough.
Okay.